Hello, hello, and welcome. It's LaShonda Henry here, aka Sister Sense. You and me and the entire Sister Sense community are going to create amazing. For the next 2 days, I am hosting the Tiny Tools 2-day Build-A-Thon. Whether you watch me live or catch me on the replays side, baby, it's a vibe. Our focus is you creating your own custom apps and tiny tools so that you can turn your content into cash flow, consistently grow without a big team, a big budget, or a big audience. My objective this weekend is to walk you through, talk you through all the things you can do when it comes to creating your custom apps and tools using some of my favorite no-code platforms. So we're going to go through the agenda. You'll be able to, over the course of the next 2 days, discover profit-ready tiny tool types. There are 10 of them that I have defined so that you have the opportunity to see your options, right? The possibilities when it comes to what you can put together. We're also going to talk about identifying your perfect profit projects so that of all the things you could possibly do, you have the opportunity to narrow down the perfect custom app and micro tool projects for you. I'm going to share with you the fast method to easy app build. So yes, you will be building apps today and tomorrow, okay? That's the goal. Creating your first interactive web app this weekend, tweaking it, making it better too, all the things that you can do. I know that there are a few of you who've already been working on apps with me in the community, so this is going to be fun, right? Tweaking, refining your vision, building better, get better at building better, right? So that you can get set up for profit and sales, Sister Sense style. Now, I have put together a pre-build guide for you. If you scan that QR code, you will have the opportunity to go and grab it, okay? So I'm going to give you a minute or two to do that, and I will proactively come back to this as ladies come in and out of the session today so that everybody has the opportunity to get your pre-build prep guide. There are some prompts in there that I have put together to help you do all the awesome things that we are going to do today, okay? So just let me know if you got it and it's working. That's number one on our agenda. Now let's lean into the first part of today's session, which basically is profit-ready projects. The hardest part is figuring out where to start, right? So you can choose from 10 of proven tiny tool types that I've identified. Each tool is designed to be small, finishable, and sellable, okay? That's the key. Baby, with AI, you know, what is that quote? With great power comes great responsibility. With AI, baby, the possibilities really are endless, but it's a double-edged sword because of that, you can find yourself quickly racking up all these awesome little random things that you feel good, but are they real good in the sense that they are useful, they are purposeful, they are put together for profit, right? They are going to serve a purpose in your business, and they are going to offer something that your audience actually needs, wants, and that you have to offer. So when I created this list of tiny tools, number one, I wanted to really narrow it down to things that have the best profit potential. That's number one. And then number two, to be honest with you, because the possibilities are endless with AI, it's really easy to think that you are going to try to build something tiny and then it becomes titan within a minute or two. I know that because I've been there and I've done that. I have been working quietly in the AI space, specifically around creating no-code applications for well over 6 months now, really working at better communication when it comes to speaking to the AI and letting it know what I want it to create, who I want it to create it for, all the functions, all the things, right? And so it's very easy to say, I'm creating a micro tool, I'm creating this little web app, and then you start putting this and that into the chat conversation with your AI builder, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, this is bigger than I thought it was going to be, and it becomes intimidating, baby, right? Because, of course, the bigger it gets, you got to make sure that there's no bugs, or you minimize bugs, you tweak it, you fix it, all the things, right? I see my girl Yvonne in the virtual building, and we were working on the interactive book project that we started last week, just kind of going through bugs and glitches, and it was a small app. I mean, literally, baby, it took us within that hour of training a couple of minutes to just kind of see it on the screen. Yvonne was like, mine was built in like 2 minutes, 1 minute. I was like, what did I do? She made me laugh. But, it literally comes up real quick, right? Right? And it's so funny just to kind of see how quickly you can see that initial draft on the screen, and you kind of want to make sure that you're being intentional about checking to make sure everything is working, everything is clean. And again, not to go off on a tangent, that for me is the reason behind why I've defined my set of tiny tools very, very specifically. Because, baby, you could go off the guardrails and quickly get off track. So we're going to focus on these tools that are designed to be small, finishable, sellable. Every type is going to be presented to you so that you can see different things that you can sell or use to boost your offers. I am ride or die digital products for life, right? Some people are like, are digital products dead? Are digital products dead? And no, the answer is they are evolving, which means that you have to evolve too. This is a conversation where we are talking about new, right? A new generation of digital products that you can use to enhance the offers you already have, complement them, and in some cases replace them depending on your vision. So pick what matches your niche and your needs. Build fast with clear purpose and path. So I have put together something called my Tiny Tools Guide, all about the 10 types of profit-ready tiny tools that you can create. And baby, it is a great read. I'm officially this week soft launching the suite of tiny tool offers. Today was the beginning of that launch, kicking off our 2-day Build-A-Thon, followed by an in-person 3-day here in North Carolina, followed by a 6-week intensive. So if you're going to do what you need to do, baby boo, make sure that you are strategic and intentional, right? So I am officially launching the Tiny Tools Offer Suite. Hey, Inger, good morning, good morning. And in doing so, I have put together a Tiny Tools starter kit, build kit, and a scale kit. And I'll definitely show you guys pieces of those kits today. But make sure those of you who are just coming on into the virtual building, scan that QR code, okay, so that you can get your PDF guide. And I'll periodically go back to the QR code for those who come in as we go, right, as we go, as we grow. So just want to give you one more minute, screenshot or scan so that you can do what you need to do. And if you need me to come back to the screen, I got you. Let's talk about these 10 types of tiny tools, okay? Now, as I put these on the screen, definitely feel free to check in and let me know if any of these either you've started to dabble in, because some of you have already started creating these tools with me, or if you are excited about the possibility of building some of these, okay? Now, if you have the guide or read my guide, it's inside the Tiny Tools Starter Kit. Like I said, I'll tell you guys about those things later. There's a process to picking your perfect projects. I call it purpose, focus, and then the ABCs. So first, looking at what is the purpose of your app? Like, why are you creating it, right? Do you want to motivate people? Do you want to inform them? Do you want to entertain them? There's a whole list of purposes, and we're going to get to that. But identifying the reason for the app, number one, the focus, number two. Because once you identify the purpose, that's going to help you figure out which of the 10 types makes the most sense for you. And then outside of that strategy, I have what I call the ABCs. The first three types, assessments, books, and calculators, are the win for me. So if you don't know where to start, those are my ABCs. Pick one of those to begin with, outside of feeling confident about picking one from the list of 10 in general. So assessments, quizzes, okay? There's an extra I in there. Don't look at it. Don't look at the extra I in quiz, as I pointed out, right? Me typing, there's always an issue. Personalized insights, shareable results. Quizzes to me are great builders. Builders as far as lead magnets to build relationships with new customers. Builders as far as you can build a bridge between your free offer and your paid offer, so there's a clear connection. When people take quizzes, it's a great way for them to identify what they're missing, and then you can position them exactly where they need to be based on the resources you have put together for them, right? So it was about 2 weeks ago, Lavon and I worked on a quiz for her new book that she's launching, and then we put the quiz together. She shared it with her audience and said, LaShonda, I got my first 3 pre-orders from the quiz, which was pretty awesome, right? And so there's so many ways in which you can strategically market the things that you have, and creating a quiz, an assessment, using it as a bridge between where people are and where they can start working with you, your first base offer. That's certainly something that you can do, right? Building relationships with your audience. Interactive books. We did a solid session on that, and we're going to continue talking about that among other tool types today. Dynamic, clickable, action-orientated, right? It's not your old school PDF. Beyond just having links, we want to make sure that there are other things that they can do. And you know me, I've always been on the cusp of innovation with you. My interactive PDFs, I make sure that I put in audios and videos and really engage my audience as much as possible, even with traditional. So when you take that up a notch and then put in interactive forms, checklists, and quizzes, it just takes things up a whole other level. So dynamic, clickable, action-orientated books, another option for you. Calculators, number 3, right? Everybody needs to crunch the numbers in one way, shape, or form, right? Whether it be their diet, their money, right? Just so many things that the numbers around us every single day. So creating spaces where you can offer clear calculators, signature, niche-specific calculators that help people simplify complex numbers, pricing, forecasts. That's something that you can integrate into what you're offering. Challenges, multi-day progress-driven experiences, motivating people either individually or as a group within your community. Forums where you can get data from your audience, feedback, onboarding information from new clients, all pretty smart things that you can do. Those are just the first 5, okay? So feel free, those of you who are hanging out with me live, to drop into the chat any of these that you already see that you know that you've got some interest in, okay? And I'm going to show you visuals on the screen in just a second once we go through these 10. I'm going to run through them because we got a lot we got to do today, okay? Games, puzzles, trivia, word searches. To be honest with you, the first of these tiny tools that I built on the Canva platform, which we're going to be working on today, was inspired by one of my clients, Elizabeth. She said, LaShonda, she reached out and was like, you know what, LaShonda, I used to have the best time doing word searches with my mom, just hanging out with her, doing word searches. I want to create one. Elizabeth is amazing. She's in the self-care space. She's one of the lovely ladies in the Insider Circle at the VIP level. And when she reached out, I said, I got you. What do you want to do? She's like, okay, well, I've got this idea for this word search. I was working with ChatGPT. Can you help me clean it up in Canva so I can make a word search book, right? And I was like, yeah, no problem. So I started that process for her and then started scratching my head. I said, what about a word search game? And within that hour, the Wealthy Woman word search was born. It's so clean. It's so much fun. I actually got distracted because I was just sitting there playing that thing. Like, I was like, okay, LaShonda, you got to go back to work, right? And so I said to her, let's step it up a notch. Outside of doing a traditional book, whether it be a PDF they can print or a book that you print and they can order, let's do an interactive game, right? Let's do things differently. Now, here's the thing about that. You can give those games away as the bonuses. You can give them to your audience, or you can sell them to your audience. You can present it in an activity. Let's say you're doing a workshop. You can put it on the screen and everybody can do it together. You're leading a class. You're speaking at the front of the stage. Sell it. Use it as a lead magnet. Use it in a presentation. There's so many things that you can do to make these apps really work for you, right? Generators, this is my new obsession, right? Creating lists, prompts, ideas that people can use and makes their life easier so they don't have to start from scratch. Everybody talks about lead magnets, checklist. Hey, we got some awesome lists for you today, right? Resource lists, directories, curated lists. We're building out those lists. I love a good list. Maybe you do too. Planners, calendars. You know me. I'm always sharing different types of books. Literally right now we're doing the 12 Books in 12 Months project. Planners, calendars, helping people map out their projects, their goals, their routines. Baby, planners are the win for me. Trackers, so that people can get better at being better, monitoring their habits, their sales, any progress that they are looking to track so that they can grow, right? So these are 10 types of tiny tools. And before we do anything, one of the things that I want to do is to show you how you can work on picking your perfect project. So let me mosey on over to Chrome real quick. I want to share a few things with you. The first thing is this interactive book, The Tiny Tool, Big Profits, took me a couple of minutes to build out, right? And we're going to do something similar today. We're going to do a more text-heavy. When we did our training last week, we did more on the interactive heavy side, right? When you have a word like elephant, right? Any multi-syllable word. And, depending upon your accent, you can emphasize one part versus the other, right? And when we did interactive ebooks part 1 this week, really a lot of the ladies got these beautiful interactive apps that were more interactive than book, right? In some cases. So what we're going to do is lean into interactive, but more books than interactive. A hybrid of the two. We're going to focus on that today, okay? But book projects, number 1, I can't remember if I had an opportunity to show you all LaVon's From Weary to Well quiz that's connected to her book, right? And, it's funny because this was actually kind of by accident. I saw this random thing at the side of the page, and I was like, what is that? Is there something there? And it was an error. It was a bug that I needed to fix. But then I was like, it'd be cute if I had something in that little corner. So yeah, I added on because we were doing a clarity call and doing this together as part of one of her sessions, and added this little thing here so that people could click and then go to the actual pre-order page to learn about her, the beautiful Lavon. This is so cute. I love this dress. Learn about her and learn about her book, right? Her launch that she's working on. So you can come here and you can click on the quiz. And I'm just going to kind of click through the different options. I'm not reading them. I'm just kind of clicking through them. Remember, I said if you don't know where to start, it's the ABC for me. You can do something like this, a quiz, which is an assessment. You can do a book, or you can do a calculator, okay? And so after it's done, you get your weary snapshot. Lavon is in the self-care space, and she's like, you know what, women, let's be honest. There are a lot of things that we are holding on to that's creating a space where you are weary, and maybe your subconscious is just kind of holding you down and you're not clear or aware of how weary you are, right? And so this quiz helps identify, like how on the scale of like 1 to 10, how weary are you? And you get a mini well plan. And then if you're ready to start your well journey, do you want to be made well? John 5:6. It takes you over to her full playbook so that you could pre-order it as part of her pre-order sales that are happening right now. And then you can even email yourself your snapshot if you want to do that as well. So, just kind of working together, I put a few little extra features in here once we built the actual quiz. And that's something that you want to think about when you're building out your apps. After that initial build, you may want to zhuzh it up and get creative with it. As you work with me in the community, trust me, outside of building amazing applications, you're going to get better when it comes to communication, as far as you being able to communicate with AI and tell it what you want to do, what you want that particular app, that particular tiny tool to do, okay? I'm actually going to show you the official, let's go here, the official Build and Sell a Web App This Weekend page that I built. And AI helped me build this page. Now, I'm a designer, and I'm old school web design. Like, I know HTML, PHP, CSS, all the code, okay? This is no code zone. You don't need to know code. You don't need to have tech skills. The only skill that you really need to get better at is getting better at communicating with AI. This quiz is so amazing. Thank you again. You're so welcome. Getting better at communicating with AI so that it can help you do what you need to do, which is live in your purpose, help your people solve problems. And what I love about these apps is that it's taking your audience in a space where they're just not getting information, they're getting immersion, things that they can do, right? Which is so awesome. So built this particular page with AI, and I'm scrolling through because there are lots of different interactive fun things that I've put into this particular page. There's scroll throughs. There is scroll. This is very subtle, but it's like a mini quiz of sorts. Like, is this for you, right? Do you want to work on creating your own apps and tools? And you can literally click on these, and it will pop up a message if you click on all 4 of them, right? It's different from a traditional just click, right? Just adding a little bit of interactivity. Then I have something called my 10-10 win method. And you've probably heard me talk about it, but essentially it's growing in increments of 10, right? A lot of people try to focus on just selling low ticket And it's hard to sell low ticket at high volumes if you're not an influencer or you don't have deep pockets to put into paid ads. And so I believe in scaling gradually with the 10-10-win process. $10 offer, 10 sales, that's 100. Create a $100 offer, 10 sales, that's 1,000. Create a $1,000 offer, 10 sales, that's 10,000. And so my goal, especially those of you who work with me as part of the Tiny to Titan intensive, we're going to be talking about in the Tiny to Titan intensive that's coming up in a couple of weeks, how to not just create tiny tools, but create Titan offers, right? So you can see here, if you have 10, 10, 10 sales in each of these, that's $11,000, right? And if you continue reviewing the calculator, if you just want to price it at any price, you can see, if I have a $17 offer at 10 sales, it's $170. If I have, this offer at 10 sales, maybe you want to create a toolkit. We are working on, many of you in my insider circle at the Fresh Start Accelerator level are working on your accelerator projects with me, something that we've been working on throughout this year. And I'm super, super proud of that. Working on helping my clients intentionally not just create low ticket, but high ticket $1,000 offers. And maybe you want to do something mini, like a Tiny Titan that's maybe like $300, $500, just kind of playing with it. But you can integrate calculators. You can work on interactive books. You can work on quizzes, aka assessments, A, B, C. Those are some starter wins for me, right? Those are some ones that I wanted to share in the starter realm. And I'm going to give you guys the link. If you go to sistersense.com/game, it'll take you to my Wealthy Woman word search game. So literally you can play it, right? And when you unlock the Sister Sense Tiny Tools starter kit, you'll see Sister Sense, this link, and I have to, I think it's TTAPP ideas. I can give this sistersense.com/TTAPP for Tiny Tool Apps Ideas. It'll take you here. This website is built to give you, on the light version, 50 different types of tools you can create, and in the full version, 250 tools. I built this in Canva. So this for me is a list of 250 tools. I would have put this in a PDF, right? Back in the day, I created something, 15 years ago called the Entrepreneur's Backpack with over 100 tools for entrepreneurs. I can literally take that and make Entrepreneur's Backpack this version, right? The new digital product version, put those 100 here. Even better, I don't have to spend hours doing research, finding all 100, putting it in a document, copying and pasting over the links with the help of AI, right? And so I built this out so that clients could basically go through this, but I also built in what's called a freemium model. What does that mean? That means that 50 of the 250 are free. There's a section where you have to unlock it. You put a password in, and when you put the password in, you're able to get access to all 250, plus some other premium features that I have detailed on this page, which is pretty awesome. I also set this up where, and these are, cool things that you can see here. And as we get deeper into building apps, you'll be able to do similar things as well. People can see the recently viewed. They can jump to the ideas they recently viewed. If there are certain ones that they like, they can favorite them, and their favorites will pop up on the homepage as well. And again, this app I built in Canva. Now, here's the thing, right? And this is to tell you full disclosure. You can build your tiny tool in 10 minutes and get your first draft, right? I was obsessed with getting this right. And when I say right, getting it the way I wanted. So I took a week and worked on this one until build 161. Okay. So I got to version 161 and I was like, LaShonda, you got it. You got it. So you can, I say that to say, number one, I call these things 10-minute tiny tools because you can get your first draft in under 10 minutes and you can tweak it to a solid build in under an hour, but you can continue to work on it for as long as you want. So if you want to come back to it and tweak it later, you can, right? So just a little bit of tiny tool app inspiration for those of you excited about working on your tiny tools too, okay? Let's mosey on over to the slides because we have a prompt that you're going to put into ChatGPT so that you can work with me on identifying a tiny tool that might work for you, okay? So, I forgot my quick build demo. I was I was jumping ahead. Sorry. So let's do a quick build demo. I talked about assessments. I talked about ABCs, right? And if you don't know where to start, you can start with assessments, books, and quizzes. Watch AI build a tool in a couple of minutes. I'm going to build a quick assessment. See how a prompt becomes a product, an interactive example, a book, quiz, game, so that you can get inspired by the speed of creation. No tech or coding required. Imagine building your own tool today, okay? So some of you have worked on this with me, so it's not going to be like a surprise because you've seen me do this a couple of times. Those of you who have not, then you're in for a treat, okay? So what I'm going to do is grab a prompt and then go over to Canva and put it in so that I can build. For context, I thought it would make sense to build out a quick quiz that literally helps people do what we're talking about right now, which is to identify their perfect project, their perfect profit project in the form of a tiny tool. So let's do it. So this is a quick build demo. So I just kind of already have a starter prompt so we wouldn't take up too much time because I want you guys to work on your tool for the most part for today. So I went over to Canva, as you know. There's different tools that you can use to do no-code web apps. Of many of them, there are two that I personally love. Canva is the beginner version for me because pretty much everybody has Canva. So when you're on the home page, you are going to go to click the Canva AI button, right? And you see it's purple, Canva AI button. And then you're going to click on the code for me option. Then you give it a prompt. Now, just to put this in context, most of you know what prompts are if you are familiar with the ChatGPT platform or other AI platforms where you tell it what you want. In human language, you give it instructions and it does something. When it comes to you building out an application that is interactive, that is what I call a tiny tool, you say, hey, I want to build this thing, right? In my case, I want to create a quiz, an assessment quiz, and this is who it's for, and this is what I want it to do. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. The more detailed you are, the more accurate it is when it comes to the AI giving you what you want. Now, if you've never done this before and or you're relatively new to the experience, less is more. Just tell it, hey, this is what I think I want. It will build, and guess what? Tweak, okay? There's nothing that says you can't tweak. I did 161 versions of my Tiny Tool app ideas. I think my last interactive ebook, I did 7 versions, right? After the first build, I only took a few tweaks and I was like, yeah, I'm good, right? So really, it's you don't have to out of the gates have to have something crazy elaborate. You can keep it simple and then kind of tweak it as you go. But I have worked on building out several prompts to help you with the process because I'm good at this. So I have created and will continue to create a library of prompts to help you build out these different types of tools. So I created a prompt. I said, listen, I want to create a quiz. I want to help people pick a tiny tool. Let's do it. So I'm basically going to put my prompt in. I'm going to hit enter. It is 1:48. Let's see how quickly it works on my build. So it starts, right? It's a few lines in, almost 100 lines of code. It's 1:48. Let's see how long it takes to create my quiz. One of my clients said to me, you always make funny sounds, like in the middle of doing things. You always start randomly singing. I'm like, passes the time. Passes the time. So while it does its thing, you just kind of sit and do your thing. Most of the times I'm on my iPad, so your Canva might look a little different than mine. That was super quick. It's 1:49, like literally 1 minute. So when I tell you no exaggeration, this thing takes literally 10 minutes or less for you to get that initial build. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, right? So this is TAP. TTAPP stands for Tiny Tool App, right? My signature of what a web app micro tool looks like based on my list of 10 tiny tool types, right? And it said, I'll create an interactive quiz, and it gave me my first version. If I'm happy, I'm good. If I'm not, I'll tweak. I can already tell you that I hate emojis, and I don't want that emoji. So I know I want to get rid of that, right? Tap is trademarked, so I will ask it to put my trademark in here. Discover your perfect tiny tool type in just a few clicks. What's your main goal when creating something new? I want to help people learn, organize information, track progress, create a fun experience. I want to create a fun experience. Hit next. How do you prefer people interact with your content? So I'm not going to read these in the interest of time. I'm just going to click next, 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 and see your results. Your best match. 2 runner-ups. So best match is games, and then you could also consider assessments or quizzes. So then it says take the quiz again. Awesome. That is my Tiny Tools Matchmaker. So I'm going to do 2 tweaks just to kind of show you, because this is literally a quick build. My intention was, I said to myself, okay, do the build for about 20 minutes so that you can start their build in the next hour, and literally it's not even 2 o'clock yet, and I'm done. But I'm going to do 2 tweaks while I'm here just to kind of show you some things that you can do, okay? What do I want to tell it? Well, this is a matchmaker, right? I can give this to people for free as a lead magnet. I can include it in a bundle. I have something called the 5 Bs. So B is builder, is like a lead magnet builder. So I could use it as a builder. I can use it as an order bump, a bonus, as part of a B bundle. So I think what I want to do is connect it to the sales page. So let's go grab that link, okay? And it's got my copyright at the bottom, right? It's pretty clean. So I'm going to go and grab my sales page link, which is tinytools.sistersense.tech, T-E-C-H. So side note, once you start building these, you may want to go get a domain. You can literally buy a domain directly inside of Canva, okay? And we'll talk about putting your website domain in here when you finish your app, because literally I'm going to do that in a second. I recommend getting a variation of your current domain. So my domain is SisterSense, and I got sistersense.tech, T-E-C-H. I also have sistersense.site, D-I-C-T-E. I have a bunch of them, sistersense.tech, .site, .io, .co. I got a bunch of SisterSense versions, right? I attached the tech one to my Canva so that it's branded. You can use the free version. It's going to be like my.canva.site, and that's, if you want to use the free version. But, take it a little. I think I spent maybe like $3.99 for my sistersense.tech domain, okay? This is the main website, and I think I just showed it to you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here, and I'm going to say a couple of things. Please remove all emojis. Please add a trademark beside TTP. What else do I want to do? Oh, when user finishes the quiz, invite them to build their first web app this weekend by getting the tiny tools build kit at this website. And celebrate their completing the quiz. Add some confetti. I'm going to keep it simple because it's 5 minutes to 2. So that's it. Other than that, keep everything else the same. I love it. And hit enter. So it'll work on those tweaks for me. And it's like, okay, I'll remove the emojis, add the trademark, include the build kit. Best results is clarity. The more general you are, the more off it might get because it has its own brain and it's going to assume things. Wherever you leave a window for ambiguity, it will do what it thinks is the best thing, okay? So what you got to do is put guardrails on. I didn't just say, okay, can you add a trademark? I said, add a trademark to TTAPP. Like, you're looking at it and you're like, yeah, add my trademark for me. Like, it can't see you, first of all. And it doesn't know where to add it. It will assume, right? I'll even go so far as sometimes saying, hey, did you understand what I meant? Like, tell me what the plan is. Show me the implementation plan so that we're on the same page. Because just like talking to humans, right? And anybody who's ever had to talk to a spouse or a coworker or a child or anybody else in your life, you know that when communication is bad, baby, it's a catastrophe. Things go bad real quick. So just like anything else, if you want to get a proper understanding and you want to get things ideal the way you want them to be, work in a space of specificity. Try to be clear when it comes to what you want the AI to do for you as part of your build. So if I just click, and I'm not reading, I'm just clicking so I can get to the end. So it gives me a little bit of confetti. You see that right there? And then it gives me also My two runner-ups. Sometimes when you're in preview, you can't scroll. It's like a weird glitch. So I just kind of close it real quick and then click back into it. But hopefully this time I'll be able to scroll. Yep. So there you go. Oh, ooh, no, I do not like that. I do not like the orange gradient background used for the ready to build message. Please use gradient purple instead. That matches the overall color design. And what else do I want to do? Hide or remove the text your results are in. Feels like it's unnecessary with the one underneath it. And just put the or make the your best match section white or white background with purple border instead. And reduce the size of the text your best match. I feel like it is competing with the header tab. So as a web designer, as you know I am, right? I literally can sit here and it's 2 o'clock, so I'm going to stop and just hit enter. I can sit here and make a whole bunch of changes. But even right now, and just kind of watching and or listening to me, hopefully you'll see that it is a conversation. And you can come back to the chat later, right? If you need to. But as you're seeing what's going on, just try to communicate to it if you see something that you don't necessarily like, but you want to be clear about where that thing is and how you want it to change, okay? So I went from, I know I'm going to be on time for the next session exactly at 2 o'clock to it being 2:01 because my eyes cannot see things that I don't want to see without changing it. But I'm going to give it a minute or two to tweak. Hopefully this mini build quick demo gives you a little bit of insight as far as the range, right? So this is a quiz, and you could do, all types of quizzes, but this is just a simple quiz that I will connect, because I will be using it, right? Connect to my main sales page for the Tiny Tools project. And assessment number 1, books number 2, calculators number 3. When it comes to a simple place to start, if you don't necessarily know or you're easily overwhelmed, okay? So let's see what it does. It says, I'll update the styling to better match your brand colors. All right. Oh, wait, I wasn't reading. It said, oh, no, something went wrong. Try asking again. Let's see, is it updating this style? I'm going to copy that. You said something went wrong. Please try again. And remember, I like the app as is. Don't make any other changes. Just a few tweaks above. And if you have any questions before you get started, let me know. Because it said something went wrong, I'm a little bit apprehensive. So I'm just like, hey, if something went wrong, just make sure you don't go crazy and change all my stuff. I want you to keep my stuff as is. Just make these few little tweaks. If you have any questions, check in before you get started, right? So it's like, okay, I'll make those specific styling changes to better match your brand colors and improve the visual hierarchy. And just like anything else, like I said, you want to make sure that you don't think, to be honest with you, there's no like hard and fast way to communicate. You could say pretty much anything that you want to say. It understands regular human language. You just want to, if you think about something, if you're apprehensive about something, if you're unsure about something, ask it. Like, I don't understand this. Or one of the best things, and it's funny, it's like this is like a mini how to do tweaking session before we actually get into the actual builds. But one of the best things is if you get stuck and you don't know what to do, ask it. Say, listen, I've tried a couple of times to explain to you this thing. It's still not working. What am I saying? What's not clear? Like, can you help me figure out the best way to, communicate or to get you to do this thing that I'm trying to get you to do, right? Talk to it. And outside of communicating with it, I always say when you can't ask me, ask ChatGPT. Literally, there are times when I've went to ChatGPT and said, I'm building this thing. It's acting a fool. This is what's going on. Help me, right? And it will. What's pretty cool is that you got these three dots right here. You can click Show Code, and you can actually copy the code and save it. I highly recommend doing that. I highly recommend saving the code for any versions that you like, just in case, whatever reason, there's a glitch and you can't come back to that version. Sometimes glitches happen. It's AI, it's technology. But having the code means that you can recreate something if you need to, and you don't have to understand the code. You can give the code to ChatGPT and say, hey, make sense of this for me, or pull this out for me. Way more than you probably need to know at this point. But let me just kind of get to the end. Okay, I like it better. Is it perfect? No, but if I keep going, I'll be here on version 161. And we're not here for me. We're here for you. So I'm just going to go use and design website and then publish website. Now you're going to see your default URL. You can customize it if you've never customized it before. And then I'm going to change it to one of mine that I have purchased. And then I'm going to put this, I'm going to put Matchmaker so you guys can use it. So sistersense.site/matchmaker, and then publish. Hey, Matissa, OMG. That is a beautiful surprise for me to see you today. Welcome. So, good things you have not missed us actually starting individual builds, and I'll get you up to speed in just a second. What I'm going to do is mosey on over to this Chrome browser so I could just show you the actual completed quiz on the screen. Now, this is just me being me, but I think I might like the header outside of this card. This that we call them cards. This main white card in the middle. What do you guys think? Header in the card or outside of the card? In the card, outside of the card. Let me know. I am going to just do another random click through test. And if somebody goes, yeah, I'm ready to build, then they can go to the main website, right? Quick build. Initial build was 2 minutes. We took a little bit over 10 minutes of me randomly talking and making a few tweaks, and I'll go back and tweak it a little bit later. If you guys would like to create assessments this weekend, let me know, and we'll go into that in a little bit more detail, yes or no. We're going to go into the main meat and potatoes now, which is you going through a few ChatGPT clarity prompts so that you can start your build. Let's go back into our presentation. Oh, and friendly reminder, that link was sistersense.site/matchmaker. So you can go there, check it out, let me know your thoughts, and let me make sure that you guys can get the Getting Started guide for today. So let me go back to our presentation, because you're going to need the guide for today's part 2. Okay, so scan that QR code so that you can download today's PDF guide. If you have any trouble scanning the code and you need me to just drop the link into the chat, I can also do that. Just let me know, okay? So I'll give you a minute or two to grab that link, and then we will move into the next section. All right, so let me grab the actual link and put that in the chat. So far, we have gone through 10 types of Tiny Tool apps that you can produce. We have talked about the quick build demo. So I showed you my ABC methodology, where of all the 10 types, you could start with A, assessments, B, books, or C, calculators. And I just did a quick build and shared with you a few recommendations when it comes to tweaking your app once you've actually built it. So what we're going to do now is work on a brand and build session. So the first thing is I want you to be able to really cultivate your build, where you can name your app, you can add simple branding, you can create your first interactive book, you can learn the starter prompt workflow steps, and then build inside of Canva but with guardrails. Anybody can go in there and put in a prompt, okay? But you don't want to learn the hard way. Whereas, like going through 1,000 builds and being frustrated, which is why I've perfectly put together prompts to help you, okay? So we are going to go through the brand and build section. Now, hopefully everybody has their PDF docs, okay? So what I'm going to do is mosey on over to the doc. There are 2 prompts. One is very, very long. We're going to do the short one first. Everybody has ChatGPT and Canva, by the way? Just say yay. Let me know. Let's go over to the document. So this is your Tiny Tools Prompts Guide, the Light Edition. Those of you who officially purchased the Build Kit or the Scale Kit, you will have the full version of the prompts, and you will have my custom GPT builder application that helps you build out all the starter prompts for all the 10 types. That's in the official Build Kit. I'll show that to you later. Don't worry about it, because what you need for right now, you have in this PDF, okay? So there are two prompts. One is very long, and I mean very long. You see all of that? That's that prompt. There's another prompt, and we are going to start with that one. That is the decide prompt, okay? This is the decide prompt, and I'm going to copy it, and then I'll explain it. You put this into ChatGPT. Now, I use ChatGPT. Some of you may use another AI platform. You could put it in whichever one works for you, okay? So let me go over to ChatGPT, show you relatively quickly how to do this prompt. Then I'm going to be quiet, so you can take about 15 minutes to work on it, okay? Get excited, because this is where the fun begins. So I have been AI and obsessed for a year now, and I've taken the last 9+ months to really work on specifically understanding all of these people creating their own software. I'm like, what the hell are you, like, since last year, I've been like secretly trying to figure out what everybody was doing. And then I started coding and really leaned into producing things. I built this. I call it the Digital Business Builder from scratch. It did not exist. Everything that's in this thing, I built it, right? Every section crafted by me, right? And so some of you have access to the Digital Business Builder. There are so many things in here, right? That's number one. Number two, some of you are here as part of the weekend workshop, and you get access to the 2 days of training and everything that goes with that training, right? That is different from what I have released this week, which is the tinytools.sistasense.tech. That's the build kits, okay? These are actually kits that I've put together for Tiny Tools. So if I scroll down, there is the starter kit, the build kit, and the scale kit. I do trainings all the time, and ladies in my circle, my insider circle, get access to all my trainings. So those of you who have access to the trainings, you got access to the trainings. We're hanging out this weekend. We're creating interactive tools. Then there are people who literally are coming in to the training because it's a part of one of these kits. Starter kit, build kit, scale kit, right? Like the lovely Matissa hanging out with us this weekend. Not sure which one of these kits you grabbed, but each of these have different things in it. Everything that they have live inside of this Digital Business Builder Toolkit, right? So if I go over to my starter page, it says Browse My Bundles. You'll see that I'm the owner of this application, so I have all the bundles. But in here, there is the scale kit, the build kit, the starter kit. They're all in here, okay? And those are kits that are separate from the trainings that everybody gets access to in the Insider Circle, because these kits actually have tools and guides that I've put together specifically around building Tiny Tool applications. So I'm mentioning that because if I go to eBooks, there's the Tiny Tools guide that I put together, this guide breaking down all the tiny tools. And the chapter 7, I think there are 13 chapters in here. Chapter 7 on picking your project has these prompts, right? Imagine it, pick it, and name it. So those of you who have the light edition, you have the Imagine It prompt. And we are going, no, what we're doing today. We're doing Decide It. We're doing the Decide It prompt. So you have one of those 3 prompts plus a huge prompt from the ebook generator, but I'll get into that in a second. I just kind of want to, because things are in the Digital Business Toolkit. If you're looking for something and you're like, I don't see it in the 2-day training, or I don't see it in the 6-week intensive, if you got those things but you didn't actually get the Tiny Tools kit, that's probably where it is. But of course, especially those of you listening to the replay, if ever you have questions about where something is, just ask and I will answer. You can email me, and pretty much all my sites have the send me a voice message option so that you can do that too, okay? So with that being said, picking your project, there are 3 prompts, and we are going to do the Decide It prompt. which I have already put into ChatGPT. But, of course, it disappeared, so I'll put it back in there and hit enter. I've crafted over the past year something that I call CCQ prompts. These are AI-powered clarity sessions. And essentially, when you can't ask me, you ask CC. You don't know what you don't know, right? I've been building businesses online for 20 years. So I've created prompts that my clients can put into ChatGPT to gain clarity. This is one of those prompts. So first, let me demo it for you. Then I'm going to power pause and be quiet so that you can go through the prompts, okay? Some of you may have already started using it already. And you can say, girl, I already started. But I will just kind of demo it if you're new to my CCQ prompts. So first I'm going to put it in here, and this prompt is going to help me decide what type of tiny tool I want to work on, basically. And you don't have to read it. You could just follow along. So ChatGPT says, hey, great, let's dive in. As CC, we'll go step by step with 7 questions, one at a time. The goal is to surface the clearest idea for your first tiny tool. Once you've answered all 7, I'll summarize your responses and give you my top 3 recommendations from the 10 tiny tool types, right? So I'm going to go through this as quick as I can. I'll do maybe 3 questions. I won't do the whole thing because I actually want to be quiet so that you can go through this process, okay? So let me just answer 3 questions, and then you can start yours. Does everybody have the prompt? Has everybody got ChatGPT? Are you clear on what we're doing right now? You're going to go through a clarity session with ChatGPT that's going to help you identify, based on your niche, your expertise, the kind of tools that would be a good fit for you. Okay, which of the 10 purposes do you feel most drawn to? Teach, build, organize, track, plan, engage, inspire, clarify, play, or sell. Great question. When it comes to the purpose of my tool, I'm always drawn to engagement. I love things that people can do that are engaging, and then that teach them something that they didn't know. I'm going to have to say teach, engage, inspire. Who exactly is the audience you want this tiny tool to serve? Funny enough, I am working on a series of tools for people who are not aware of the fact that they can create their own web apps and tiny tools. So if it's a resource for entrepreneurs, creatives who are unfamiliar with no-code web apps and micro tools, I want to create something for them because that's what I'm doing, building as many things as I can for them. Love the clarity. If your audience were to walk away from your tiny tool with a quick win or outcome, what would you most want that win to be? I'm actually, by the way, demoing this series of questions. Right now, I'm doing a training, the Tiny Tools 2-day Blog-A-Thon, LOL. So this is like a demo and a clarity session for me. But literally, what I want my clients to walk away from both this Blog-A-Thon, but also with the tools that I create, is they don't have to build from scratch. With my method, FAST, my FAST method, formulas, automation, systems, templates, I don't want them to have to build from scratch. I want to craft prompts, and I want to craft tool ideas that are tailored and just make it easy for them to live in their zone of genius, right? Without the headache of having to come up with ideas, they can just run with the structures that I've put together for them. All right, so I'm on Q4. I will continue to go through my clarity, but that's going to be me muting myself and finishing these. So, what I want you to do is to power pause and begin your session. Did anybody start yet? I'm just curious, but if not, you can start. Put it in, and I'll check in about 10 minutes. You can let me know what number question you're on. Um, and if anyone would love to unmute themselves at some point and kind of share what they got from the process so far, that would be great because we've got 2 prompts to work on, and then we're going to, with after the 2 prompts, you'll have a code that you can use to build the first draft of your app. So good things. I'll be here. You're going to see my screen. It's going to keep moving because I'm still going to be talking to the GPT. I just will mute myself so that you guys can focus on your things. If you have any questions, please ask. Whether you unmute yourself at any time or enter it into the chat, please ask. I got you. If you're listening on the replay side, you can always check in with me via email, lhenry or lashonda at sense voice message, the Facebook group, firestarters.citizensense.com. Check in, reach out. I got you. All right, let's keep going. Hi, ladies. It's almost 2:40. Let me know how you're doing, what you're up to. Do you need a few more minutes? Check in. If you want to share what you're working on, you can do that as well. All righty, so it's 2:45. I'm going to share what I got, and then you guys can let me know. You can let me know now if you feel like you want to work a little bit longer on that clarity. If you want like maybe 3, 4, 5 minutes more, let me know. Otherwise, we'll move on to the next prompt. I'd also love to know if anyone wants to share what they got as far as feedback. So you could drop into the chat and let me know if you'd be interested in sharing your results so far. But let me hit record and share mine. Oh, I did hit record. LOL. So let's see. It says summary. Teach, engage, inspire. Those are the key purposes that kind of came out for me, my entrepreneur audience and creatives unfamiliar with no-code apps. Quick win for them that my goal is that they don't start from scratch and I can give them structure. So it's given me kind of like a summary of my responses. Obviously, your summary would be different based on the things that you said. Oftentimes, I recommend clients, if you're not familiar, using the speech to text microphone option. It just feels more natural to talk out what you're saying as opposed to typing it out. Sometimes if you don't like to type, that might limit your ability to really communicate freely. 3 to 5 tool types that it recommended to me: generator, perfect match for your fast framework. Challenge, you already have audio trainings that can be broken into daily steps. Interactive workbook, take your framework and guides, but instead of static, make them interactive. Assessment and quiz tracker. So it gave me several tools and what I could do with those particular tool types. If you want to wow them quickly and tie directly into your fast positioning, I'd prioritize the generator. That is its CC quick tip recommendation for me. So as you can see here, I really wanted to create a holistic experience where you didn't feel lost, because this is such a vast new space, this new generation of digital products that I'm trying to hone together for you, but put it in a way that makes sense, right? So that you don't have to go, oh my gosh, I got all these options, I don't know where to start, right? You can start with either the ABC, creating an assessment book, or a calculator. Books are really big for me. This year we've been working on 12 books in 12 months. It's awesome to have LaVon here. She's been working on her playbook, From Weary to Well, and she's in the launch mode so that over the next few months she can strategically market and launch her new book. And we created a quiz around that book, right? So thinking about essentially not feeling like you're overwhelmed with the process, I wanted to be able to create these different types of resources to offer you support and direction. So definitely feel free to drop into the chat or unmute yourself. I'd love to know what kind of things AI, specifically CC in the form of ChatGPT, recommended to you. And as you guys are just kind of either wrapping up your clarity session with CC and or looking at your results, again, feel free to share those with me. What I'm going to do also is go back over to our Tiny Tools doc. That was one prompt, right? I have another one for you. Now, this one is a very long. This is the Easy Ebook Generator Begin prompt, okay? Baby, it's a long one. So you're going to have to select, scroll, and keep scrolling so that you can get this whole prompt, all right? Now, here's the thing about prompting and communicating with the AI, okay? As you can tell, literally you can create instructions with only a few words, very small prompts. I have been working at getting better at AI prompting. I accidentally did the ebook one. Oh, did you? That's fine. That's fine. I wanted you to do the smaller one first. My apologies. I should have switched the order. Um, but I've been working at improving, and I'm going to continue to work at it because it's such a vast space. Improving my skills with respect to AI architecture and AI prompting, learning how to get better at communicating with the AI. And like I said, you can create prompts that are like 2 words, 2 sentences, right? I've crafted a very detailed prompt that's going to get you into a clarity session to help you craft a starter prompt you can give to Canva to create an interactive ebook today. Now, this is an interesting project, okay? It's interesting for many reasons. Number one, you can see the difference between an advanced starter prompt and a very simple one, right? Number two, those of you who are in my insider circle, we did an interactive ebook project this week, and I gave you a power prompt, but it was significantly smaller than this one. And so this gives you an opportunity to see how the more you are specific and intentional with what you say, the difference between what the AI will create for you, right? When you offer some very tailored specifics about what it is that you are trying to put together, okay? Um, Matissa, I'm going to ask you in a little bit what you got. I'd love to know what you got for this prompt, but first I'll put it in and show you all who haven't started it yet. I'm actually going to take you over to, first let me do this. Let me find the actual website real quick. So I have been feverishly, passionately creating different resources. And one of the types of tools on the list is G generators, right? So I created what I call the Easy Ebook Generator. And there are 2 main levels, begin and brand. So using this generator, you can either complete the form or you can complete a ChatGPT clarity session and work on a starter prompt. Now, begin is, believe it or not, the prompt that you all got, and it's very detailed, but it's the smaller of the 2. The second option is brand, where you can really lean into even more questions, even more specificity when it comes to asking the AI to create an ebook for you, right? And I'm going to be making that prompt even longer. if imagine that, right? But there are 2 prompt types here. Those of you who signed up for either the Build Kit or the Scale Kit, you're going to be getting pretty much the generators that I'm building out. There's the initial set that includes the Easy Ebook Generator. This is in there. I wanted to make sure that as part of this training, you all who don't necessarily have the Build Kit or the Scale Kit yet could get a taste of that experience. So the prompt that you have, it's very long. It's like over a page. It is the begin prompt, okay? So now what I'm going to do is put that into ChatGPT so that you can see how to take that prompt, go through that prompt, and have the AI help you create an interactive book. You're not going to write it. You're not going to have to spend hours inside of Canva trying to customize it. You're going to get it built for you today. So just like before, I'm going to go into ChatGPT and I'm going to paste that prompt in like so, like that. I'm going to hit enter. I'll answer the first 2-3 questions, then I'll be quiet so that you guys can go through the prompts yourself. And this is going to be the prompt that you put into Canva to build your tool, okay? We're going to do one main build today, but depending upon time, because it's the weekend. If you guys also, I did a quick build quiz earlier. If you want to do a quick build quiz either after this session or tomorrow, let me know, okay? Other than that, focusing on mainly tweaking this particular tool, getting better at communicating with the AI, answering your questions. That's what we're going to do. And then I'm going to show you how to then sell it, use it as a freebie or a paid offer. And I've got some other fun things for you to do on day number 2. Okay, but let's focus on figuring out what your interactive ebook is going to be about today. Okay, so I'm going to hit enter and start. All right. Hey, LaShonda, I am CC, and I'm here to guide you through an easy ebook generator clarity session, right? So this is you kind of getting, some of you have the build kit, but if you don't, you can get it. tinytools.sistasense.tech, T-E-C-H. Outside of going there, you have this prompt to help you get clear. It has some instructions, and then it says question 1 of 12. So I've got 12 questions to answer. I'll answer 2 of them, then be quiet because you guys get the gist at this point, and then you can answer them on your end. Everybody good? Just say yes. Let me know you're good. You're working through your prompts. You're clear. If you need support, check in. I got you. If you did the first prompt or the second, just switch it up. So let me start. What's the topic of your ebook? Do you already have it in mind, or would you like me to propose some suggestions? To be honest with you, I would really like you to propose some suggestions, and I'll tell you why. So right now I am focused on my Tiny Tools brand, right? And I'm literally right now actually doing this recording as a demo. I'm doing the Tiny Tools Build-A-Thon for 2 days, helping clients build out at least one tiny tool over the weekend. So I say that to say I've done a few of these, what are we called, interactive books, blanking, right? I did one on the 10 types of tiny tools. That's my main starter guide, breaking down the 10 types of tools. And that was a baby. That took me like actually a few days to kind of build out. It has all my frameworks and everything in it. But I did that one. The digital product revolution, talking about this new generation of no-code applications. Another one called Tiny Tools, Big Profits. And I feel like there's one more, but I'm blanking. So the starter guide one is 10-minute tiny tools, the 10 types, then the digital product revolution, and then Tiny Tools, Big Profits. There's one more, but I'm blanking. Okay, anyway, point being, I don't know what else to talk about. I don't want to create like 15 books that say the same thing. Like maybe I could talk about different frameworks in the Tiny to Titan process. That's something. There's another book. Damn it, I can't think of it. Let me pause. Whew. You can talk to this thing for about 10 minutes. I try to break it up because it sucks when you talk for 10 minutes and then it says that ChatGPT didn't understand you. OMG, it makes me cry. So, let me pause for a second. I would be curious, like based on our conversations for these many, many weeks, maybe even months now, about this whole Tiny to Titan, Tiny Tool, everything, whether it be a lead magnet or an entry point. Well, not so much an entry point because the starter guide is my entry point offer, but something that complements the existing conversations I'm having around AI monetization, Tiny Tools, new generation of digital products. That's what it's called, the new generation of digital products. I knew there was another one. Something around my frameworks, my path to profit, all the things. Give me some suggestions. That's my long-winded way of saying give me some suggestions. You know me. You are my lemonade. So you are my lemon. Give me the lemonade, as I like to say. LOL. All right. So I literally, I'm demoing this for you guys, right? And apologize for the random, but I am random when I talk to ChatGPT, first of all. But also, I'm real time using this stuff. Like, I'm not doing this for shits and giggles. Anything that I do, I literally use the content. It's a lead magnet. It's a part of a bundle. It's a part of a paid offer. So I am demoing this for you just to kind of give you a sense of what you can do. But I'm also working through my ideas real time. So while that is doing its thing, let me check the charts. LaShonda with extra L's and A's. I love this. Thanks for having this session this weekend. I'm definitely using chat to its full potential. I know, right? I got to stretch you and you got to stretch ChatGPT. That's what we need to do. I meant I'm not using it to its full potential. Wow. Yeah, it's funny because I'm doing an in-person here next weekend. Definitely let me know if you want to hang. I don't know if you're still in the area. It's been so long since I've seen you, and people leave and move to other locations. But I am doing an in-person next week, and the last one I did a couple of months ago, ladies, I was like, okay, I'm going to talk to ChatGPT, and they were freaking out the way I talked. They were laughing at me the whole session, and then that inspired me to do 3 months of ChatGPT like me sessions because I do it a little bit differently, but definitely stretch it because there's a lot that you can get out of it. And I want to make sure that I'm really showing you the various ways in which you can make AI work for you. This is definitely a new ball game. It's a new ball game. It's a new economy, and we've got to learn to be on the cusp of this AI technology, right? So you don't get left behind and you find a way to make it work for you, right? So next thing it says is perfect. This is exactly why we're doing this clarity session. You've already got the 10-minute tools, the digital product revolution, new generation of digital products. Here are 5 suggestions from Tiny to Titan, the roadmap to scalable digital products, the Tiny monetization playbook. Which of these feels most exciting to you? 7 models to profit from micro apps. To be honest with you, I didn't read all of them, but my eyes gravitated towards the 7 models to profit from micro apps. System Sense is all about helping folks make sense of making money online. So if I can talk about 10 ways to make money from micro apps once you've actually created it, that would be great. I've got a ton of recommendations, and I would love for you to help me do that. So let's do it. Let's lean into, did we pick already? Oh, shoot, you have more questions. You got more questions, but I like number 2. Theme or short description for this ebook: a practical guide that shows entrepreneurs simple, proven ways to monetize no-code micro tools. Discover 7 smart monetization models to turn your tiny tools into consistent revenue. Learn the strategies that transform small no-code projects into scalable profit engines. I'm blanking here, so I'm going to defer to you. Tell me which one you prefer and why. I'm blanking. I know I want the word AI in here somewhere. That's why I was blanking, because I was trying to figure out where that would go. Um, and this whole conversation around making money with AI is just so huge. Like every day, there's like 15 articles that pop up on my Google.com about how to make money with AI. Um, but I don't think that they really lean into like how the average person can do it. Ooh, the word that comes up for me is side hustles. Like I spent like the first 5 years of my business talking about being a side hustle sister. Like the perfect AI side hustle that nobody's talking about. I think that's what I want to angle it around because nobody necessarily knows what the hell tiny tools are, but they know AI, and I can kind of lean into breaking down this one thing, creating these web apps as a side hustle, and then 7 money models within that. So I don't know. You got to make a short description for me. Revise it, tweak it, let me know. All right, so I'm going to keep answering these questions because for me, this is the fun with ChatGPT. And eventually, I will get a prompt. Let me pause for a second. Check in the chat. How you guys doing? You can unmute yourself as well. I'd love to hear your voice. How are you doing? Which one did you complete? Are you still rocking and rolling with me? It's 3:06 on my clock. You guys good? Check in. And then if we keep working on clarity, I think that by about somewhere between 3:20, 3:30, we should be able to start your app build. And then also let me know if you want to do the assessments quiz. One, I didn't plan it. I just did a demo just to show you guys a demo of assessments. But if you want an impromptu prompt that I can pull from one of the other guides so that you can work on assessments, we can do that as well. I'm doing good. Awesome. Awesome sauce. So I'm going to be quiet, but as you can see, I am still going to be here so that you guys can continue to work on your prompts and gain the clarity that you need. This prompt in particular, by the end of it, you will have a starter prompt that you will put into Canva AI. Now, let me say this. There are many platforms you can use to build your custom apps. I personally like two in particular for beginners, Canva, because everybody has Canva. So I'm not even going to talk about anything else because I'm going to keep it simple. And we will start the build probably around 3:30, okay? So if you do want to do an assessment, awesome. I just saw somebody say I like assessments. I will just let me know, and depending upon time, we'll see if you guys are good, and we'll jump into it. Um, yeah, okay. Let me be quiet now. Go forth, continue prompting. All righty. I got into a minute where I was really in it with these questions. But I got a really good topic. And then ChatGPT was able to give me my starter prompt, right? And so I am going to give this prompt. Wait, it has to be done in two parts. Do you want me to go ahead and generate part two? Yes. So depending upon how much you say, and I said a lot, okay? When you put prompts into Canva, it does have a limit of 4,000 characters. So I have crafted this so that if the amount of branding you did in that session exceeds that, ChatGPT knows to break the prompt up, and it will, you take each piece and put it into Canva, and then Canva knows that you're going to give it another part. So you're going to give it the instructions in parts. Literally, because we've done a demo, you could see the demo was a few lines of instructions versus this, which is 2 parts of instructions. It's very detailed, right? But that's just how things are. So I am going to put this into Canva and start my build. Are you guys ready to build? Yes? Do you have a build? What book topics are you doing? Feel free to either unmute yourself or drop into the chat so that you can share that with me. And what I am going to do is begin the process of showing you how to make it all make sense, okay? Like I said, you can use other platforms to build your apps. We will be building in Canva. And those of you who will work with me as part of the 6-week intensive, we're going to go deep. What I've built is called the Tiny to Titan framework. My goal is to show you how to not only create $10 tools, but how to turn them into $1,000 Titan offers. And being able to strategically build your own offer suite of tools, as well as create premium tools, is what we're going to really dig into when we lean into the 6-week intensive. So this is really awesome as far as being able to gain clarity, direction, and an actual prompt that you can put into Canva. What I'm going to do is take the first part and hit copy. And then I'm going to go over to Canva. I've already minimized the presentation, so I can go to the home page. So if you have never done this before, it's not complicated. What you're going to do is on the home page, at the very top, it says, what will you design today? There are 3 buttons: Your Designs, Templates, and Canva AI. You're going to click the Canva AI button. When you click that button, you will see another set of options. Design for me. We're clicking code for me. All you got to do now is put the code into Canva AI and then press enter. Now, I've got, it gave me up to my chapters. Let me make sure that is all that was in the first message. Yep, that was all that was in the first message. I feel like I can combine these. Let me try. Let me try to combine these and see if it will all fit. Nope, it won't. You see it says full cover pop. After a certain point, again, 4,000 characters, it cuts off. So ChatGPT knew enough, that's enough to break it up into 2. I'm going to hit enter, and it's going to know that this is part 1 of 2, and it will pause before it actually starts to build. It is 3:43. Oh, it started. That I didn't expect. I don't know why it didn't stop. You know what? That's AI for you, because it literally says that this is part 1 of 2. and it started the build. It's fine. Can I stop it? Nope. And that's the thing. I don't know how comfortable or regularly you use ChatGPT, but with ChatGPT, you can stop it. Like if it's like, oh, I forgot to say something, or oh, it's starting and it looks like it's going in the wrong direction, you can stop it. You cannot do that with Canva. But AI changes so quickly. I'm sure that it will evolve over time. Hold on one second. Okay. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. It is 3:45, so my build has been going on for 2 minutes, and which is great. However, I can't pause it, right? But AI changes, so oftentimes, in a month or two, it might have like a whole other set of features. So it did give me my initial build. This is kind of nice. I like that font. I like that font. This reminds me of like New York Times. I'm not like in love with the top of it, but I like the bottom of it. I don't know how you guys feel about the initial build. Let me explain to it that it it missed the second half of my prompt. So, and that's fine. It'll rebuild. I really like what you have so far. However, my initial prompt was divided into two parts, and you did not get the second part. First, let me give that to you and review everything before we restart the build. Do not start build yet until I tell you to. So then let me put in that second part. So now, as you can see here, do you see where it says 2,493 of 4,000? It can't go beyond 4,000. So if you got like really big prompts, you got to cut them up. I've cut my prompts up into 4, 5, 6 messages, and it's taken all of it. So so long as you instruct it clearly, I'm going to give it to you a little piece at a time. It should be okay. But with my message, I see I didn't read the very top of it. It said, if I go back to it, it says, note, the following instructions will arrive across 2 messages. Paste them into Canva AI code for me in order. Part 1. Now, here's the thing. ChatGPT didn't put instructions in here for me. And sometimes the AI isn't perfect, but what I would have needed at the very top here would be to say, hey, I'm creating this thing. I'm going to give you 2 sets of messages. This is part 1. Don't start until I give you part 2. Because it wasn't clearly expressed at the beginning, that's why it just kind of started and went rogue. But I'll give it part 2. It will communicate with me, and then we'll move forward. So I now have the complete instructions, the closing section, specific call to action, disclaimer. I understand you want me to wait. So it's like, see, it didn't start because I told it do not start, right? Let me make sure I am still recording. So I actually don't want a full cover page for this one. It was unexpected, but I do like the design you gave me. I just want to adjust the color scheme. But I also think that instead, what would make more sense? What do I want? Instead of the little tablet buttons for each chapter, can we add a sidebar with all the chapters in the sidebar? I would like it to be collapsible so it can be hidden when needed, especially on mobile. So what else? A collapsible, more Kindle style. Keep the design the way it is. We are just adding more content, the CTA, and only making design changes that I mentioned in this updated request. Do you understand? So it already it's funny because I kind of lucked out into liking another design outside of what I was giving it, because I was giving it, give me a full cover. But I like this partial cover. I'm not necessarily married to these buttons. Is there another way to do those buttons? I think there is. Okay. I want to try something. Let's keep the little tablet buttons also, but instead of the full chapter titles, just make it a row of clickable numbers with the introduction being number 0. So it's cleaner and takes up less space. Do you understand? I like this. I just don't like how much space it takes up. So what I want to do is just make it numbers instead. So we keep both the navigation. This gives users 2 ways to navigate plus all the other updates. This will be much cleaner. Ready when you say go. I am ready. Proceed with the rebuild period. So it's 3:53. It's more text, so it'll probably take about 3-4 minutes to build, but still, as I said, under 10 minutes, right? Let's see how long it takes. Let me check the chat to see how you guys are doing. Definitely let me know what you got or what you're getting. Y'all are quiet today. As far as what you are getting, maybe you're just kind of like deep in concentration. I don't know. I know you're there. I can see you. You're just quiet today. But hopefully you are getting some good results from your prompts. I mentioned that we're doing interactive ebooks right now, and we did a similar activity this week in the mastermind. But the ebooks, the interactive ebooks, looked very different from these. And it just kind of goes to show you, those who were there, you can compare and see Depending upon what you put into the prompt, there are just so many different things that can change from one build to the next. I've been working on creating templates so that if you like a certain design, you can just kind of replicate it. And so, yes, you can kind of just go and do your own thing, but I think you'll especially enjoy the different templates that I am working on infusing into the Build and Scale kit. So that over the next couple of weeks, as we go through this 6-week intensive, you'll find more templates that are in there, and then you can kind of work through those as well. Of course, you can just kind of, run with what the AI gives to you as well. My original app, the Digital Business Builder Toolkit, it took me about 6 months to really get that right. I had a working version about 3 months in, but that's not a tiny tool. That's what I call a Titan. It's valued at $1,000 a year, $100 a month subscription, and I'm working on tweaking it and building it. So like I said, I do have a range of, in my framework, teaching how to create tiny, but also how to build Titan. And in the direction that we're going in this economy, understanding how to create tools, how to communicate with AI, is going to put you ahead of everybody. Like, this is the type of stuff that I'm teaching you, honestly, that people are paying I paid thousands of dollars to understand this stuff. So it's definitely worth leaning into how you can really utilize AI to make it work for you. It's better. It's not perfect, but it is better. How do I make it collapsible, first of all? There's a lot going on here. There are things I like. There are things I don't like. Hold on, let me pause and just kind of check in and see how you guys are doing. Oh, awesome. So your focus is safe kitchens and happy customers. I like how Canva created and is allowing me to add brand colors and chapter icons. Yes, you're going to see. Now, remember, I said to you guys, I gave you the smaller, believe it or not, the smaller version of my 2 brand prompts because there's just so many interesting things that you can tweak and customize. But it's definitely given you something solid to work with. I want to tweak a few things with this design because I really like it, but I do want to tweak a few things. I'm going to do a simple tweak, number 1, and then, you know what, I'm not going to tweak it because I want to be able to help you all. So build, and then share your links with me so I can put it on the screen either today, or if you want to work on it tonight and then come back to show it to me tomorrow, that's totally all right. And it's just about to hit the hour. How long have we been on? 3 hours. So I'm going to show you how to make this into a website, and then I'm going to check in with you guys and figure out what if we go forward further, or we just wrap up for today and come back tomorrow. Because this is basically at this point where you have a build, you can start tweaking the build, and then we talk about other things that I want to share with you tomorrow. But again, I had mentioned the assets if you wanted to work on that today or tomorrow. But let me just hit use design. There are different options here: website, presentation, doc. I'm going to do website. And I am going to, it looks really nice. It looks really nice and clean. This is probably going to be one of my favorites as far as interactive ebook designs so far. And I said that about the last one that I did, but I think I kind of like this one better. Publish website. what is the domain name going to be? AI Side Hustle. So sistersense.site/AI Side Hustle, no spaces, publish. And then to be honest with you, that's pretty much it. I mean, if you like it, yay. We'll definitely talk about how to sell it and or give it away if you want to use it as a lead magnet. But, I mean, once you have that initial build, the nuance comes in how you communicate with the AI to continue tweaking it and get it the way you would like it to be. But I do like what I see. When I scroll down, I'm not a fan of how it's scrolling. I don't know, something about how it's scrolling isn't working for me. So I probably want to adjust the scroll. But I do, other than how the sidebar is scrolling, I do like the look and feel. I think it's very like New York Times clean. And I also was able to put in my brand colors. Now, brand colors is one thing. You can go further in the conversation about branding, but I don't want to go too far because then we would be on here forever. So I will be tweaking this, and I'll show you guys tweaks a little later. But what will I be tweaking? This for me, the fact that when I scroll, it's so much white space here. It's kind of a bug, I think, so I want to adjust that. I don't like this dark blue, so I'm probably going to change it to a lighter blue. That's just my personal preference. I don't like that yellow at the bottom, so I'll adjust that. But other than that, I mean, out of the gates, it pretty much gave me something that I think is pretty solid. And then I want to make sure that when I go on mobile, it's clean and mobile friendly. So if you do have any questions for me, definitely feel free to let me know. I'm going to go back over to our presentation. The thing about it is, even though I could continue tweaking, I actually did a lot of tweaking today between the demo and this one. So I feel like you guys did get a sense of how to communicate and tell it specific things that you want to change. If you do want me to either continue tweaking today to show you some things, if you want to show me what you have to put on the screen and or do the assessments one today, let me know. Otherwise, what I'm going to do is to wrap up today's session for you. That'll give you an opportunity to review and then get ready for day 2. So let's go back into our presentation. All right. So I wanted this to be meaty, but I also wanted it to be practical, where you're not sitting and listening to me for like 5 hours, but you're actually doing, right? And so we walked through the 10 proven types of tiny tools that have, to me, the most profit potential, that are small, finishable, and sellable. Number 1, we also worked through the quick build demo so that you could see literally just a few lines of code that you can, just a few lines, give it enough instructions to build something out of the gates. So you don't necessarily need to go crazy with the prompts like you saw that supersized prompt that I gave to you. However, the more crafted and detailed the prompts are, you'll see you have more control over what you see in the end result. It's always going to do something that surprises me on some capacity, but the more you give it instructions, the more specific you are, the better the results. So we did go through 2 prompts so that you can work on your brand and your build. And then essentially right now, the prototype project was taking that starter prompt, putting it into Canva, and building your first prototype so that you could tweak it, zhuzh it, love on it, and make it better. I do see that you guys are checking in with me via the chat. So before I go over today's action plan, let me just check the chat, and then we will move forward. Yes. So I'll make sure that the replay is up within the hour. And I did go over showing an assessment and putting a quiz together. And I didn't do it as a starter prompt for you guys to do it, but I did just kind of show it on the screen. So if you guys want to do builds on assessments, if not today, tomorrow, just let me know. But yes, you'll see it in the replay. Can you show how you were able to publish? Absolutely. So if I go back to home, okay, and you're like, okay, I'm back in my home. I see regular Canva. Where was all that weird stuff that you had us doing today, LaShonda? So you click on Canva AI, right? Now click on Code for Me. When you look on the Code for Me page, you can see your recent chats. And if you click the See All button, you can see all. There's also a little menu with the 3 lines at the very top left. If you click that, it will also open up your chat history. So my interactive ebook is here, and you can see I tweaked it twice, so I have version 2, and there's a big old button. So I'm going to click on my version 2 and click on Use in Design. Now you could use it in different ways, in document, whiteboard, presentation. Click Website, okay? So when you click on a website, it's going to pop it into a new design. So let me go back to home. I'm not going to click that again because I already did it, right? So when I go back to home, do you see this here? That's my website one that it created. And there's nothing that you need to do in this other than push this button that says Publish Website and then give it a name. If you never have used this before, it will be a standard one, but you can customize the free URL that Canva gives you. You can customize it to your name or your business name. Other than that, you can also pay to add on a domain. You could buy a domain externally and connect it, but if you're not very techy, it's easy just to buy the domain within Canva. I don't have the buy domain option right here only because I'm using the app, and you have to use the web browser, just to let you know. So if you're using the app like me and you're like, where do I buy a domain? You don't see it. Well, it does say, get new domain here. Oh, so I guess they updated the app because it didn't say it before. Didn't say it before. But you can purchase your domain directly from inside of Canva. I totally missed that. Back in the day, you couldn't do it. But again, with these platforms, they're updating stuff all the time. Does that make sense? That's basically it. You hit publish. You give it a name. If you don't have a domain name, you can use the free version that Canva gives you and customize it to match your brand. If you want to pay for a domain, you can. I spent about $3 and bought sistersense.site. And then for this project, I put the subpath AI Side Hustle because that's the name of the book. And so if you go to sistersense.site/AI Side Hustle, you'll see my book, right? Now, this one is more book than interactive, I'll tell you that. The ones that we did last week had all these crazy interactive things in it, checklists and all these things. But I could actually add on some fun things in here once I get in here and read it. OMG. You know that quote, reading is fundamental? AI wrote it, okay? So I'm going to want to read it, make sure I like the chapters. I may want to tweak things, remove things, and refine things. Tweaking isn't just about the visual design. Obviously, you don't want to go, oh, AI wrote it 3 minutes, it's great. AI makes mistakes. It may be off-brand. It may say things that is not in alignment with what you want to say, okay? And so you want to read it. Now, I will say this as far as tweaking is concerned. I don't want to go overly technical, but I will say this. When I am in here and I like what it created, in addition to publishing it, when I'm in the AI chat, I also save the code. So let me go back to that conversation real quick so I can explain to you what I mean by save the code. When it doesn't delete one version to the next. Like it'll show. One of my apps has 161 versions. Okay, sometimes it may glitch and you may lose a version, which is why if you see one you absolutely like, click the three dots, show the code, copy the code in a Google document so you can keep it. There have been many times where I will give that same code to ChatGPT and say, pull this information out for me, or help me fix this. There's a bug. It doesn't know what's going on. I'm tired of asking it to fix it. You fix it, and then I'll tell it what to do. So I do oftentimes communicate between multiple AIs because you don't need to know code, and you don't need to know how to fix every bug. Literally, you can ask it to fix it, and if it don't understand, you can say, hey, ChatGPT, can you look at this code for me? This thing isn't working. Canva AI can't fix it. Can you help? So let me pause because I do see questions in the chat. Are we able to have graphics and pictures? That is a great question. So here is the long and short of it, okay? When it comes to these things, icons, easy. As far as graphics are concerned, icon is the easiest visual that you can give it. But you can give it other things. It can't do certain things, but let me show you visually what it can and cannot do. That's a great question. Let me find one of the builds that I did. What was it called? Is it this one? I don't know if it was this one. Was it this one? Yes. Okay. So you see how I put my picture up there? And I also put my picture here. Okay? You can give it images that are online. Preferably don't grab stuff from online, okay, that you do not own or don't have the rights to use, and give it images. So how did I give it this image? Well, I have a website, right? And my website is built on WordPress. Let's go to my website real quick. And so I literally lazy girled it. I went to my website. I clicked on this image and I said, open a new window so that I could, that's not what I wanted to do. Not open the link, open the image. I'm doing all kinds of weird things. Hold on. I went to open image in new tab. There you go. Okay, this is the image. It's on my website. I grabbed that image from the browser. I came here and I said, use this image with my bio. Okay, and I gave it the link. So if it's stock photos that you've paid for and can use, or if it's your personal photos, your logos, if it's uploaded somewhere, you can give it to it, okay? It needs to have the actual full link where it ends in whatever the graphic is, a JPEG, a GIF, a PNG. It cannot use like Google or Dropbox links because those are long and weird and they don't properly end, right? So if you have a place to upload it online, great. Or if you don't, the easiest thing to do is to get a free WordPress website and upload stuff there. That's an easy workaround outside of, like traditional, website if you don't have one. And again, outside of that, let me go to a previous build, okay? Let me go to a previous build. Outside of you giving it images that you have links to online, and hopefully that makes sense, but if you're not sure about what I just said, please let me know. Let me show you another build. I'm trying to get it to scroll. Oh, did I go all the way to the beginning? Yes, I did. Version 1. I need an older version, and I don't know which one. Let's try version 10. No, version 10. I'm looking for images that I can show you. I need to go a little later, maybe 12. Let's try 12. 12 won't let me scroll. And I want to try 12. Come on. Okay. It wasn't 12? When did I had pictures in here. I can't remember what version though. One second. See if I can find it for you. Okay. Okay, I did hide the images at some point. So I hid the images, and what version was that? That's why I can't see them. Version 4. Oh, okay. I'm thinking I hid them around version 12. Clearly, I hid them earlier, closer to the beginning. Okay. So I was curious about what what Canva AI could do, right? So I said, outside of icons and me giving you images that I've uploaded to the internet, can you put stock photos in here? And it was like, not really, but I can make images for you. I was like, okay, well, make images that relate to each chapter. So this is digital product evolution from old school to new school, and this is what it created. I would have to sit down and get better at articulating details of what I wanted to see. Other than telling it, give me something based on the chapter, I gave it no detail. It could probably build better images than what it did. I just said, okay, and I decided to hide. I like this one, if I'm being honest. Small apps, big impact. Now, you know, it can't do like mid-journey, like photorealistic images, but it can do something clean. I just didn't tell it, oh, I want different colors or whatever. I just said, give me whatever you can give me based on the topics. I hid these because some of them I didn't like this was totally off. Like they're small and they're squeezed to the side. This was totally off. So I would need to come back and have it either redo the ones it did, not maybe all of them, maybe some of them, like be like, can you change chapter 4 for me? Again, when you're specific about what you want to change and how you want to change it, you get better results. If I just say, can you, fix the image in chapter 4, it doesn't know what I want it to fix. And either it will just do something random or it will ask me. And sometimes it will ask, but most times it won't. It'll go, oh, okay. And then it'll say, oh, I'm sorry. I thought you wanted me to fix it like this or fix it like that. So being clear about what exactly you want is ideal. I have 4 options or 3 options. I think one would be to come in here and have it fix the images that it can create. Again, I don't know how detailed or sophisticated graphics it can create because I didn't give it any specific instructions. But I could do that, number 1. Number 2, I could either use my own photos, or number 3, get royalty-free photos, upload them, and link them here. Then option 4 is I could go to Canva does have a text-to-image feature. I could literally use Canva's text-to-image feature and use inside of the Canva app the design to make images, or use Midjourney, or use ChatGPT, because you can make images inside of ChatGPT, right? And then upload those to the internet, give it the links, and say, here's the link for the top image of chapter 1. For the top image of chapter 2, replace these images for me. Okay? So until further notice, those are the things. Now, if you have a question, there are several resources that I've put together. I do have a Canva do's and don'ts document that I've put together. I'm going to put that inside of our replays page, because I don't think I put that link in there yet. Let me go grab that real quick so I don't forget. The Canva do's and don'ts. So this guide, I'm like, oh, you can do this, you can do that. And I asked Canva a bunch of questions about what you can and cannot do, and I broke them into categories. So this is right now about 14 pages. And as more questions come up, I will put it in here. And I'll make sure that as part of the replay, you get access to this PDF, okay? But one of the things that I've mentioned is that you can communicate with the AI. So just as you asked me, hey, can I add images? You could ask the AI as well. And like I said, AI is changing and evolving every single week. And so what didn't work this week or this month might work next month, because they are always improving these applications. So I'm just really smart about asking questions, and when I can't do something, I strategically find a workaround. So I wanted to put my images in here. I already got my images on my website. I gave it the link. Wham, bam. Thank you, ma'am. I don't remember how or what I said, but when I was working with LaVon on, one second. So when I was working on this particular quiz with LaVon, to be honest with you, I don't know what I said. And see that cute little emoji icon or whatever? Like, it can add certain things, and I'm pretty sure that's like an emoji or something. So I could ask it, like, what is that? Is that a graphic? Is that an emoji? You can ask it questions, and when you see something and you like it and you're not quite sure how to repeat it or to fix it or where to get it, ask the platform or ask ChatGPT. Okay, but again, great question, super great question. Any other questions or reflections? Let me know if you kind of want to work on your thing. And then I know I was actually, when I did an AI mastery class several months ago, and I never teach you guys anything until I put several months into it. And I put $2,000 into a 2-day program, and man, it was an intensive boot camp. Like, it was good. I got a lot out of it, but it was so much more that needed to be covered, but we only had 2 days. And so in that experience, when the trainer was like, oh, show me what you have or whatever, sometimes I was resistant because I wasn't quite ready to show what I had done. I was like, let me wait. So I can understand if you guys aren't quite ready. If you are, great. If not, you want to keep tweaking it, no problem. I will wrap up our presentation for today so you guys can kind of quietly keep working on it. And then check in with me, send me your links, or your questions, and then we'll move forward tomorrow. I will probably, out of curiosity, what time is it? It's 4:30. So I'm a night owl. I mean, well, I shouldn't say I'm a night owl. What I should say is I'll go to sleep at like 7, anywhere between 7 to 9 o'clock most days, and then be up again by about midnight, 12. So, with that being said, I will reach out to the community and see, depending upon how I feel, I may or may not check in and see if anyone wants to do like a late night session with me, especially those who couldn't join us earlier. But otherwise, I will definitely have our part 2 tomorrow and see if anyone wants to either do a late night session or an early morning session. And depending upon that, I may just give you extra time. Other than that, those of you in the community who are working with me pretty much every week, every month in the Insider Circle, outside of this 2-day Build-A-Thon, I will be doing the 6-week intensive in about 10 days. And then, of course, the in-person here in North Carolina, we're going to do Titan offers next weekend. I get to hang out with some of you guys next weekend here in Greenville. What else beyond that? The toolkits themselves, like I said, are different from just getting the trainings. Any templates, prompts, training videos you get inside the Insider Circle, but at tinytools.sistersense.tech, these are kits that are independent of what I do in the circle, with the exception of the trainings themselves. The trainings are actually, like, for me, like a bonus to the toolkits, because I get to teach people how to use the tools in the kit. I have a custom GPT that will help you create prompts for all 10 types of tiny tools. I have the easy ebook generator. I have 250 ideas of tools that you can use. So there are a lot of things I've put into the toolkit beyond actually doing this training series, whether you do it live and or watch it on the replays. So to be honest with you, the 2-day and the 6 weeks is just kind of complementing me creating a space to actually teach what I've put into the toolkits. And I want to show them to you. Okay, here we go. I'm like scrolling 15 different ways to Sunday. There's the starter kit that lives inside the build kit, and the build kit lives inside the scale kit. And there is the main heart of this thing, which is the builder. And it helps you to architect prompts for any tool you want to create based on your interest. It helps you to basically go through a series of questions, get clear about what you want to create, and then it crafts the prompt. It's different from what we did today in that it's all types of tools, whereas what we did today was actually focus on one type of tool, which is the interactive book, and a specific prompt that I gave you for that one type versus having a range to pull from. But if you have any questions, definitely feel free to check in with me. This page in particular is tinytools.sistersense.tech, and I will put it on the replays page for those of you who only have access to the 2-day and you want to kind of dabble in this. Feel free to. Plus, you get access to my Digital Business Builder Toolkit as well. Are you hungry, Prin? Is it time to feed you? You're like, yes. Okay, nope, stay. Stay where you are. Don't come over here. Those of you who get the scale kit get full access to this as well. So let me see. Ooh, awesome. You created one. Good stuff. You're going to share the link? Do you want me to put it on the screen now or later? If you want me to put it on the screen now, just put it in the chat. Let me go back to our plan. But hopefully that was helpful, Inger, in just kind of breaking down the images situation. Any other questions about that, definitely feel free to let me know. So while you can't directly just be like, oh, make an image or put a stock photo in there, which would be great. I'm sure it'll probably evolve in that respect soon. But so long as you're comfortable just uploading something to your website, and if you have even questions about that, like uploading stuff to your website or pulling links from your website outside of what I shared with you, feel free to let me know. Because so long as you have an image uploaded somewhere on the internet, you can put it in your app, and it'll add it where you tell it. So where were we? Your action plan. So day one of 2 days building with me is essentially starting your interactive ebook project. Matissa, is this the first time you worked on apps? I'm just curious. Or worked on apps in Canva? Were you able to create something? Definitely let me know. Starting your interactive ebook, big, testing your prototype, starting to tweak it before we work on polishing, joining the Facebook community, firestarters.sistersense.com if you're not already in there, sharing your build. I am working on what I call the Tiny Tools, a little library, so that I can showcase the tools that I've created and the ones that you create too. So you definitely have an opportunity to share your tools with me, okay? And then, of course, to prep questions for Q&A for tomorrow. I did see a link come through. So let me copy that real quick. I haven't used the AI this way until today, and I love it. I created my ebook, and now adding all sorts of tweaks. Awesome. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it. Definitely let me know, guys, what you were able to build today and your thoughts on today. I've been training and doing these kind of things for years now. So, I could sit on here for like 6 hours with you, but I won't do that to you. Hopefully, though, you felt like you were able to proactively do more than just kind of sit and listen and really kind of get your hands in it and create something amazing. So let me put this awesome. I can't wait to see what you created. Hold on, let me get the link and put it on the screen so everyone can see. Alrighty. First one to share for today. Yay! So Lavon did the Well Within, right? Which is awesome because it's in alignment with your series, which is Weary to Well. And definitely different, right? Definitely different from the interactive ebook project we worked on a few days ago. I'm going to see if I can pull that one up too so that those of you who didn't participate in that class could see it. Very similar to mine. You did get the tablet version. It looks very close to mine. And I have to say that I do like that style. Affirmation, well woman practice, gratitude statement, very much in line. You branded it as well at the bottom. Good stuff. So how much of this vision did you already have? I don't know if you can unmute yourself because I don't know where you are, but if you could, that would be great. Otherwise, you can just kind of pop into the chat and let me know, like, how much of this did you have? How much of this just came out of working with the AI, coming up with an idea and building it today? And how long? How long did it take for that initial build? How many versions did you build today? I think I'm up to like version 7 or something.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. I didn't really have a vision. I just followed the prompt that you gave me. So this is version 14. I'm sure it's going to be more. I haven't read it yet, but I was mindful where you said to go through, like I had to have it go through the whole document and play. I don't like the word rituals, so I had to have it and take out every place it had ritual, so it created a whole new code, and I was like, oh Lord, it's going to mess up what I have. So I really didn't have the vision before I started, but I used the tool that you gave us. I put in, the information I had about myself and what I wanted to write about. And it took a little longer this time, so it didn't give it to me in 1 minute like it did the last time. This one took a little, 5 to 6 minutes. It was longer. And so
Yes.
this is version 14. So I'm sure I'm going to do more changes and give it more specific directions.
So out of curiosity, tell me where this is going to fit for you. Do you feel like it's going to be something that you sell separately, a lead magnet, you put it inside what you're putting together now as far as your bundle? Any thoughts, or are you still thinking about it?
I'm thinking about maybe as a lead magnet because what
Okay.
is here is different from what is in the book. But
So how are you going to bridge the two? So what in this is connecting to that?
so it is connected like the practices. I just don't do the well method. That's what it is.
Okay.
But I talk about like practices. I thought about even just taking like even one piece a day could be a post or a conversation. So even one page, one chapter a day could even be an interactive conversation that I have too. It could also be used that way as well.
I love this. I'm looking here where it says your beautiful head and face. Place your hands gently on the crown of your head. Feel the wisdom that lives there, the thoughts that create your reality. Did you tell it that you wanted these sections, or it just kind of did its own thing?
No, I told it I wanted that. I did tell it to do the body blessing. Yeah, I told it to do that part. So
Okay,
those,
good. And so that's the thing about this. Everybody's going to create something unique. And the more you really talk to AI and tell it what you want, the more you clarify it, the better it becomes. And these are some really beautiful sections. So you wanted to make sure you had a well woman practice. Did you give it specifics about your practice or just general overview?
I asked it to align the practice with the topic because what I noticed is that it had section, but it didn't have a practice. So I wanted the practice to reflect the chapter title to be in alignment with that. So that's what I asked for.
Gotcha. So that was a tweak. That was a
Yep.
tweak. So I did hear you say, oh my goodness, I saw it recoding, I got nervous. The thing about Canva AI is that it is a more simplified version of some of the more complex builders out there. Number one, it's embedded in Canva, so it's awesome for most of us because most of us have it. But the tricky side is that when it comes to building, it will sometimes, if it's like little color changes or word changes, it'll use its rewrite tool and change it without having to rebuild. But more often than not, it does rebuild. It gets a little bit tricky if you build something that has about over 20,000 lines of code because you don't want it to be too big, right? But the thing about it is if it's rebuilding, here are two things to be mindful of. Number one, when it does rebuild, I'll tell it, I just want you to do this thing. Please keep my design and my content intact. Just, slightly change this or slightly change that. Before you feel the nervousness of, I don't know what it's going to do, know that you have the control to tell it what to do. Otherwise, it may randomly change the whole design because it's like, oh, I think it might look better this way. And you go, and then it'll go, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you didn't want me to change that. So if you don't have to say it every single time, but if you know it's going to do a rebuild and you know that you don't want it to change, tell it. Also keep in mind, you cannot say stuff like, oh, I'm on version 12. Can you go back to version 7? It does not know that. It built it. It farted it out. It doesn't remember. So you would have to articulate to it whatever you liked in that particular build because it can't remember it. It can't reference it. It can't go back to it. However, you still have it. So either you can pull things out of it and verbally explain it, or you can give the code to ChatGPT and say, hey, I like this. Can you pull it together and help me put it in there? These are just little nuanced things that, again, I've been working with AI and prompting for many months, so I've kind of cultivated it. and I'll continue to help you all with it. Of course, the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. But this is absolutely beautiful. Any questions for me? Are you feeling good so far?
Yeah, feeling pretty good so far. I'll probably change the color. Now, the footer at the bottom, can I change the color of that, or does that remain gray?
Everything is up to you.
Oh, okay, I can
So if
change
you're
that.
like, I don't really like that color at the bottom, you can ask it to change it, or better yet, you can pull a color you like and give it to it.
Okay, I'll give it.
So it's up to you.
Okay, I'll give it the hex code. No, but I thought it turned out well because the prompt was long and I wasn't sure, and it wouldn't let me cut and paste a few times. So when I tried to do it
Did you
again,
have to break it up? Did you have to break it up into parts?
it did finally take it. What to get it to take was kind of funny. I actually had to put it in a Word. I put it in a doc first, and then
Uh-huh.
when I pasted it from the doc, it took the whole thing. I don't know why it did, but it did.
Gotcha.
I put it in
Gotcha.
the doc first, and then after I took it from the Google Doc, it took the whole prompt.
So you weren't able to copy it from ChatGPT and put it in for some reason?
Nope, I copied it from I actually no, I was not able to do that. It wasn't Canva that gave me the problem. It was actually kind of hard for me to copy it from the document that you had and put it all in ChatGPT. It wouldn't take the whole prompt. I don't know why.
Oh, that's weird. ChatGPT takes like dissertations.
Yeah. So, but
That's
when I
great.
yeah, but when I put it in a Google Doc and then pasted it from the Google document, it took it, and it could be because my memory's full, so it could be the certain
Gotcha.
as well. Yeah.
Gotcha. Either way, you got it done, and that's awesome. So good stuff. The thing about that particular prompt now, if I go to quick power pause, or do I already have it open? Restuary. There we go. Yeah. So in the build kit, I am, and the build kit and the scale kit, I'm working on several resources to help you all. One of them is the easy ebook generator, right? That prompt is really long, but I had to put it in a document because you don't all have access to the generator. But in here, all you got to do is click the button and copy it and paste it into ChatGPT, or literally click ChatGPT and put it. It will be in there already. So same thing with this prompt is even bigger than that one. So most of these, I'm building them into the application, so you don't necessarily have to copy and paste them from documents. However, I wanted to make sure that those of you who don't quite have access to the build or the scale kit, but we're doing the training, I want you to have everything in the training. I copied them and put them in there for you as well. So I will be offering more of these resources, but I'm so excited that you guys were able to utilize them, and I can't wait to see what everyone continues to work on next. Like I said, depending on my bandwidth, I may or may not do anything either early tonight or early tomorrow or later tonight. But we definitely have our next part 2 scheduled for tomorrow at 1 p.m. EST with yours truly. So thanks again, guys, for hanging out with me. This has been super, super fun. 4:44. It's 1 minute away from 4:44. Yay, yay, yay. I will see you on the flip side. Wait, was I supposed to give you a prompt? No, I don't think so. I think that's for tomorrow. All right, y'all. So enjoy the rest of your day. I'll make sure that I'll put this replay up within the hour. Mwah. See you tomorrow. Bye.